Hello and welcome to the Greek of the Week. This week I thought I would do Philippians 4:1, which has some interesting Greek grammar. And so let's start. Phobethomen un mepote katalepomenes epangelias eselthein. All right. Phobethomen, let us fear. So this is a hortatory subjunctive, or if you're in England, a hortatory subjunctive. Anyway, the theta tells me it's aorist passive. That long connecting vowel before the ending tells me it's subjunctive. It's a first person plural subjunctive, a men subjunctive. So let us subjunctive. Let us fear. It's from phobeomai. It's a contract verb, eo. Contract verb, which means it's a crash test verb. It is also deponent. Oh my, phobet, oh my, it's deponent. That means that it often will take passive endings, but you'll translate it actively. Be afraid, be very afraid. Anyway, it doesn't really work. But let us fear. Aorist passive subjunctive, first person plural from phobet, oh my. All right, and aorist passive deponent subjunctive, I should say. Therefore, this is a postpositive. It's a procrastinator. It never comes where it's supposed to, usually second. So we're going to translate it first, often, although therefore works second in English. Therefore, let us fear. Therefore implies logical causation here. If the stuff in chapter 3 is true, then chapter 4. Therefore, let us fear lest at some time may, in this context, would mean lest, in order that not, implied hina mepote, in order that not, let us fear, therefore, lest, and then pote kind of adds a little lest at some time, little indefiniteness to it. But anyway, let us fear, therefore, lest. Okay, now we have a genitive absolute. Alarm, we've got a genitive absolute here. We have a genitive feminine singular and a genitive feminine singular participle. A noun in the genitive with a participle in the genitive is often a genitive absolute. What is a genitive absolute, you ask? Well, a genitive absolute is a situation where we have a circumstantial participle that is grammatically unconnected to the rest of the sentence. So in the circumstances of a promise remaining, let us fear to enter. Anyway, so it's a circumstantial participle giving the circumstances of the main idea here, or of the idea here. I guess it's in a subordinate clause. Let us fear is the main clause, and then lest, it's a negative purpose clause, I guess you would say. Lest under the circumstances of a promise remaining, in a genitive absolute, we make the noun into the subject of the clause and the participle into the verb. A promise remaining. Let us fear lest, with a promise remaining, or under the circumstances of a promise remaining, or while a promise remains, this katalepomenes, men are passive participles, not when it's at the very end, like here, that's a first person plural, but when it's before the ending, men is often a passive participle, connecting morpheme of the word. So this is from katalepo. It is I'm going to go with middle because a promise remaining for us, a promise remaining for itself. Anyway, so this is a present middle participle genitive feminine singular. Genitive feminine singular to go with epangelias. Therefore, let us fear lest a promise remaining, to enter into his rest. That's the promise. The promise is you can enter into his rest. Someone should seem from you to fall short. That's the rest of this lest clause. All right. A promise remaining to enter. So ein is an infinitive, an active infinitive ending. Elth is the aorist stem of erchomai. So this is irregular. Elth is irregular. I just have it memorized. Ace is the word. So this is an aorist active infinitive from acerchomai. Now you might be saying, wait a minute, acerch, oh my, it's deponent. Well, it's deponent in the present stem, but elth is the aorist stem, and each stem gets to decide whether it's deponent or not. And in the case of this particular verb, its aorist is not deponent. It's irregular, but it's not deponent. So this is an aorist active infinitive from acerchomai. Lest a promise remaining to enter into the rest of him. Not the rest, I found part of him, but where's the rest of him? Not that kind of rest. I gave a paper once on the rest of God, and someone thought, well, I found some of God, where's the rest of him? That's not what rest means here. Rest here means go to rest, go to that kind of a rest. So lest a promise remaining to enter into his peacefulness, into his rest, lest under that circumstance, someone should seem from you to have fallen short. Okay, so the lest here, subjunctive is coming. Subjunctive is coming. It's an implied hina clause, I believe, and hina takes the subjunctive. Lest someone, tis indefinite pronoun, should seem, someone from you, partitive genitive here, should seem to have fallen short. So dokeo, to seem or to think, it's fried. So oase a is a third person singular, but the epsilon of oase a has been fried because it's subjunctive. Why is it subjunctive? Because hina demands that it be subjunctive, the implied hina here. So this is a present active subjunctive, third person singular from dokeo. Lest someone should seem, present active subjunctive, third singular from dokeo, should seem to have fallen short, should seem to have lacked. I prefer fallen short. I originally tried to fit it on the line, so I changed it to lacked in hope of fitting it, but I couldn't fit it. Anyway, this is 6 out of 7 infinitive forms and in I. This is the other one ends in ain. So here's the 7th that ends in ain, but I is also a infinitive ending. The kappa tells me that this is perfect. It is a perfect active participle from hustereo, I believe, to lack. So it's someone should seem to have lacked and remained lacking. So you fall short and you stay fallen short. Talked about that a little in my podcast this week. Hebrews doesn't really see a return from apostasy. It's not that you apostatize by accident or overnight. Necessarily, apostasy is a big deal, but once it happens, Hebrews doesn't have a lot of space for returning. Don't worry, we have the parable of the prodigal son. You're okay. If you want to come back, you can come back. It's the Holy Spirit that empowers you to come back, right? So if you truly want to come back, the Holy Spirit hasn't given up on you. But anyway, little Schrodinger's cat action going on there that I won't talk about. Okay, so hustere kenai. Did I pronounce the rest of this? Eistain katapausin autu, doke tis ex humon hustere kenai. Can I go out to play? Anyway, to have lacked and remained lacking. So this is a perfect active participle, perfect active infinitive from hustereo. All right, fun. We've got a lot of fun stuff. We've got a hortatory subjunctive, we've got a genitive absolute, and we've got a perfect infinitive and a subjunctive. All kinds of fun stuff. In this verse, Hebrews 4:1, our Greek of the week.